So around 4:30 tonight, we don't have much cloud across Labrador, but there's going to be some in Newfoundland and maybe some flurries as we near midnight. Things are going to clear up a little bit. A white Christmas, so I think you're going to have good weather to deliver gifts to kids across the province. I don't have any cookies, but I have some candy. Would you
I'll
like
take
some?
it for the road. Don't you have a show to do?
I do. Oh my God.
This is CBC Here and Now.
Good evening and welcome to a special shorter Here and Now. I'm Heather Gillis. We start tonight with a fire in St. John's. One resident was reportedly displaced from their home early this morning. The St. John's Regional Fire Department arrived at Keegan Court just after 3:30. Fire and smoke damaged a bedroom but didn't reach neighboring residents or cause any injuries. The cause of the fire is under investigation. The holidays aren't full of cheer for everyone. Christmas time can be especially difficult for those already experiencing things like grief. Mental health counselor Jennifer Broadbent says this season heightens all emotions and not just the good ones.
It's not happy for everybody. In fact, the holidays can be really stressful for a lot of people financially, or if you're grieving, if you've lost a loved one, even divorce or moving. Any of these big life changes can really affect how you feel during the holidays. Also, it's darker, it's cold outside, you can't get out as much, so people who struggle with, some seasonal depression also feel a little lower during the holidays as well.
Broadbent says it's important to be mindful of what you need, not only the things on your holiday to-do list. There are mental health resources available over the holidays, including provincial phone lines like 811. And Christmas has come early for bird watchers in central Newfoundland. One of the largest birds of prey has made it to Terra Nova Park, and it's calling it home for the time being. The CBC's Troy Turner traveled to the park to get a glimpse of the Stellar's sea eagle.
There have been sightings in Trinity, throughout the Maritimes, down the eastern seaboard, into Texas, and even over to Alaska. Now, Terra Nova National Park is the latest place to view the Stellar's sea eagle.
It's very far from home, but I think this one's a come from away. I think it lives here now.
With a wingspan of more than 6 feet and weighing in over 20 pounds, the Stellar's sea eagle is one of the world's largest birds of prey. Usually found in Korea, Japan, and Russia's Far East, somehow this one perched on the rock.
This bird, because it's been around Newfoundland for a while, I think a lot of people have seen it, but it's been attracting attention since it was first seen here. And I was lucky enough we went on a boat tour with some of our field technicians this summer. We went on the Trinity Eco Tours and saw the bird. And there were people who were on that tour just to see the Stellar's sea eagle, as indeed we were.
Terra Nova National Park is open for most of the Christmas season to give people a chance to see the rare bird.
At this point, I wouldn't predict what this bird is going to do. He seems to like to buck expectations, or she, I've heard her called Stella. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up going down to where it spent the winters before, to the Maritimes and to sort of the Eastern North America area. But, especially if we have a mild winter, which is what I heard they're predicting for us, you never know.
While viewings have been sparse, birdwatchers are hoping the Stellar's sea eagle will continue to make this part of Newfoundland and Labrador its home, and they'll see more viewings of this rare bird in the future. Troy Turner, CBC News, Terra Nova National Park.
Speaking of nesting, at the House of Assembly this year, there's been some crying. Not from the politicians, but actual babies. As Here and Now's Jenna Head reports, that's because ministers don't get maternity leave.
When you walk into a minister's office, you don't expect to see a playpen or toys.
This is my son. He's 3 months old. His name is Orion. The playpen is a feature here in the office for the last few months. It was gifted to me by Minister Studley, and it was gifted to her by Minister Parsons. So it's become a bit of a passed down tradition.
Orion isn't just in the office. He was on the floor of the House of Assembly this fall. Ministers don't get a maternity leave. MHAs who aren't ministers can opt to sit out for a single session of the House of Assembly, but ministers can't miss. So they're bringing their babies. Howell says it makes her a better education minister.
It's certainly a better understanding of the value and the role that education, that early learning and childcare and the K-12 system are going to have, and the impact that it's going to have on our lives for the next 13 years. It's an incredible perspective to have, and I feel like it has changed some of my goals or the visions that I would have had in the department.
Howell says Studley paved the way back in 2020. A newly sworn-in minister at the time, she was back in the House 12 days after her son Alexander was born.
Part of being an elected official is like, you know, you have to go ask for people's vote, and I didn't want anyone to think that I was, you know, not doing my job and not representing them. And I do think it helps, like, when we're making big decisions as a government, to have people in the room who experience a range, like who are at a range of life stages in their life cycle. Like, you can't have a room of people making decisions who are all retired from another career. Keep my little toy stash.
Motherhood comes with sleep deprivation, and there's no pause from a ministerial portfolio. But these ministers wouldn't change a thing, and they'll have a story to tell their kids.
I was still changing Alexander. The bells rang, which means I have like a limited amount of time to get back. So I like quickly get all the poop off, get back in the house. I brought him in with like a diaper on, half dressed, and someone told me the premier like took him and dressed him and gave him back to me, but I honestly don't remember that.
I'm tired. I'm tired, and some days I'm held together with dry shampoo and lip gloss, but I do feel like that we're doing it. We're doing it.
Jenna Head, CBC News, St. John's.
After losing his mom to cancer earlier this year, 9-year-old Gabe Pickett of Torbay turned to a new hobby as a distraction. And it turned out that he has a passion for making video. Here and Now's Maddie Ryan visited Gabe and his family for a behind-the-scenes look at his YouTube channel, Gabe's Wack.
Yeah. That's gonna be blocked off new map there. Probably, that's what I'm thinking. Welcome to my crib.
When did you start making videos?
2024, September 17th.
And how do you make your videos?
Screen record on my VR, aka Oculus.
That's super cool.
So we started Gabe's video as for his mom. She had brain cancer, and she'd be in the hospital and she couldn't contact them all the time when she was feeling unwell. And she'd want to contact them when she was upset, because they would, you know, kids aren't oblivious. They know when your mom's upset, so they would get upset. But she needed a way just to hear her voice, just to hear their voice and feel like she was still connected to them. So I put a YouTube channel up for him so he could start posting videos, and she would be able to put her headphones on at night and just watch his videos.
Yeah.
So at the time he didn't realize, but he was making videos for his mom.
Do you have any advice for any other kids that are going through similar things?
Keep chill.
All right, high five me.
Kind of just gives him an outlet to express himself. So it gives him something exciting in the morning to do, because since his mom passed, he would feel down. He'd come home from school, he'd be upset. He'd wake up in the morning, he wasn't feeling good. But with a YouTube channel, he wakes up in the morning, he sees a subscriber, says, oh, I got a new comment. I can't wait to respond to him and say thank you. And he comes home from school and is like, I got to make a new video. I had an idea with my friends today. So it gives him something positive to look forward to instead of all the negative right now.
And just the support for him too, like to have his online friends and all these strangers that he doesn't know, that he's never met.
Reach out and
just know that,
like, hey, cool video, we like it, thumbs up. Just the support is nice.
So his channel that he has is Gabe's Wacky Life.
Yeah.
Gabe's Wacky Life. Thumbs up.
He does his Gorilla Tag and he does his screen recording and edits all himself. He draws his own pictures.
He makes his own thumbnails. He does his own editing. He's become a real little video maker.
Yeah, and his Christmas list is basically filled with everything to be a YouTuber. that is the end goal here.
Microphones, green screens. He wants everything he can be a professional YouTuber.
Yeah.
There's a company in town, Code Ninjas, and he did their summer program for movie making. And it really lit a fire under him. And it really ignited his passion for making videos.
We're taking you back to the blobs now. We always look back at this time of year at some of our favorite stories. This one stuck with us. We had an international mystery on our hands this fall when strange white blobs started washing up on the shores of Placentia Bay. Jeremy Eaton spoke to the Memorial University professors who were tasked with solving the mystery.
Dozens of white blobs like this one were found washed ashore in Newfoundland, and it created international headlines, leaving many people scratching their heads wondering what it was. Well, a couple of scientists at Memorial University might have an answer.
With a hypothesis, with a theory, it's often very difficult to completely prove it. It's more easy to disprove something.
The mystery began in September when blobs made landfall in Placentia Bay.
It was a significant amount. That didn't go down somebody's kitchen sink or anything like that.
Much like the substance appearing on beaches, the story started popping up all over the world. The BBC, CBS News, the New York Times. It also caught Hillary Corlitt's attention.
Any of the larger samples that I picked up, they actually had impressions, very detailed impressions of algae in them, very detailed impressions of pebbles. If I tried to remove a piece of algae, it would not come loose. It was just fully embedded in there.
Corlitt and her colleagues tried to solve what made up the mysterious white blobs.
We thought maybe it was latex. They smelled really man-made. Once I got to the point where I realized they were probably man-made, I look at natural materials, so I thought I can't analyze this in any of my labs.
So I'll open the sash a little bit more.
So she turned to chemist Chris Kozak.
Started a battery of tests and got my graduate student team involved, and they all loved it.
They tried to dissolve it, burn it, dry it out.
It's synthetic, it's man-made, it's not natural, there was no nitrogen or sulfur in it. What I've nailed it down to is a polyvinyl acetate, which is PVA. You might have heard of PVA glue, which is the white Elmer's glue.
The scientists can only guess how it washed ashore.
It might have been an industrial adhesive or something like that at one point, and it ended up in the ocean, either fell off a ship or someone was doing some adhesive work industrially nearby, and it ended up in the ocean, a very large amount of it.
The scientists are sticking to what it is. Now it's up to Fisheries and Oceans to figure out why it's rolling in.
I think that's up to DFO and other organizations to have a look at where this could come from, but I recommend they look at large uses of adhesive industrially in the region.
You're used to seeing things that you recognize, and if you see something you don't recognize, I think that can be quite disturbing. So I hope that this helps give some answers to people who live around that area.
Jeremy Eaton, CBC News, St. John's.
Now to some more naturally occurring white stuff. Riders at Rugged Edge and Corner Brook say it's looking good this year. Snow is down and snowmobilers are already hitting the trails. Rugged Edge co-owner Craig Borden says that isn't just good for stores like his that depend on snow for business, but also for the riders who have a white Christmas on their wish list. Borden says after some green years, the cold, wet, white stuff is getting a warm welcome.
Everybody's excited. I mean, we get people coming every day, making comments about doing their snow dances, and people are just excited. We had to wipe off the car this morning. People send me pictures of, snow accumulated outside on their patio steps. So people here in Corner Brook and the West Coast love snow.
And you know who else loves snow? This guy, Santa Claus. Take a look at the man in the big red suit whipping around the Exploits River. Spencer Ivany caught him on camera. And Santa's next stop? Well, that's here in studio with me. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Here and Now, and Santa is here. Thanks for being with us. Are you all ready for the big night?
I'm already in the air. We're over East Asia right now. I just took a quick break to pop over to Newfoundland to visit you guys.
That must be magic.
I try to get a little magic every year.
Amazing. I can't wait to see all the magic you deliver across the province.
I'll do my best.
Now, the weather conditions.
I hear we're getting some, we'll have to check the radar for sure, but I do hear we're going to have a white Christmas for St. John's.
I think so. Let's go check it out.
Excellent. Let's go.
And Santa was given the all clear from Mission Control at the North Pole earlier today to take off and start delivering presents right around the world. And you can see his route here all across Canada and all of those lovely presents that he is going to be delivering. And he's going at quite the clip too, 470 kilometers per hour. Let's talk about your weather that is on the way. Of course, we've got lots of Christmas cheer in store, some cloud tonight, some sun and cloud tomorrow for your Christmas day, and some showers or flurries in the east for your Boxing Day. Sun and cloud for the rest of the province. Taking a look at our future tracker now, and it's pretty clear across Labrador for the most part, and things will be clearing up across the island as well as we go a little bit into the overnight hours, and we could see some flurries along the Burin Peninsula as well. And when we go to Christmas Day in the evening time, well, we could start to see some of those showers skim the bottom southern-facing portion of the island with the Burin and Southern Avalon. Now, taking a look at our temperatures for tonight, quite chilly up across Labrador and Lab West at -24, -20 in Happy Valley, Goose Bay, into the teens along the coast, and into the mid-teens, minus teens as well for central Newfoundland, -16 there in Grand Falls, Windsor. And when it comes to the southern-facing parts of the island, -6, -7, -9 for St. John's area, and for St. Anthony, -10 for you folks tonight. When we take a look at our wind chill values, it's going to be much colder as well, into the -30s for Lab West. Tomorrow, taking a look at this now, anywhere along the southern-facing coast of the island of Newfoundland, it'll be about 1 to 2 degrees. We could see some flurries there for this part of the province, but for the rest of the province, for the most part, it looks like we'll have some sun and some clouds, some nice temperatures between -3, dropping down to -5 in the interior for Grand Falls, Windsor, into the Humber Valley there as well, and a little bit warmer by a couple of degrees here for the west coast. But as we start to head up to the east side of the west side of the Northern Peninsula, we will pick up some flurries again at -1. When we go into Labrador, chilly temperatures again as well, but relatively warmer than it has been, into the minus single digits on the coast and into the double digits for Lab West. Sun and cloud for you folks as well. Taking a look at your Boxing Day now, we will see some mix, possibly some rain or some flurries here for the eastern half of the island, for the Burin Peninsula, the Avalon Peninsula, and looking like parts of the Bonavista Peninsula as well. Some cloud in Lab West, but clearer towards the coast, and some cloud for parts of the island there as well. As we take a look at our temperatures now for your Boxing Day, nice mild temperatures for the most part, between 0 and 2 for this part here of the south-facing coasts, and below freezing everywhere else. Taking a look at our 5-day now, it looks as though we will have some precipitation Thursday through Saturday for the east. Beautiful forecast for central and western Newfoundland. And as we go up into Labrador, it looks like you've got some nice weather ahead as well. Gonna leave you with these guys. Mummers, are they allowed in? Of course they are this time of year. And if you have any photos, send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
What do you think of that forecast, Santa?
That works for me!
Hi everyone, I'm Jane Adey, host of Land and Sea. Coming up this Sunday, we're going to take you to a Christmas in Conception Bay North. Former host Paul Harrington visited the community of Job's Cove 40 years ago.
Christmas week in Job's Cove. A fresh snowfall has softened the landscape, and the distant sounds of summer are muffled and remote. The droke no longer echoes with the voices of fishermen. They are replaced by the sounds of winter, of hauling wood with a family in tow.
Hello, Mary! How's you?
December on the North Shore is much the same as in other fishing villages. A pause between last season's fishery and the preparation for next year's. But December means something more here, for this is a shore rich in tradition. A tradition of songs and stories carried on and added to by each passing generation. And nowhere is it stronger than here in Job's Cove, especially at Christmas time.
Ray, do another number for us now. Do the Hills of Glen Shee.
I said, pretty fair one, will you be my dear one? For I'll take you over, my bride for to be. And this very night in my arms I will hold you, while you tend your flocks on the hills of Glen Shee.
That was a show called Christmas at Job's Cove from 40 years ago. And we're going to bring you that show this Sunday at 11:30. That's 11 o'clock in most of Labrador. If you happen to miss it on TV, you can always watch it online on CBC Gem or on CBC Newfoundland and Labrador's YouTube channel. So enjoy the show and thanks for watching.
Well, that's it for our show tonight. We're taking a break over Christmas and on Boxing Day as well. But join us again on Thursday, December 27th for a festive special. We're playing the best stories from this year. And of course, as always, there are some great ones. Hope you have a Merry Christmas. Land and Sea is next. Good night.